You say your name right now.
Denise.
Say it right.
Denise.
Correctly.
Denise.
Right.
Denise.
Right.
D-nice.
That's better. Thank you.
We live in a world now that welcomes and nurtures the screwball in all of us. Hey, it's a new decade, people. Time to get a little nutty. Treat yourself to Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, a smooth flavor that combines two of America's favorites, peanut butter and American whiskey. So no more social awkwardness. Time to embrace who you truly are. Get out there and make friends. And be sure it starts with Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. It's available nearly everywhere. Learn more at screwballwhiskey.com. Infinium Spirits. Please enjoy responsibly.
Okay. I've noticed that Antonio Brown has found yet another sucker to take him on. God knows we've already done Pittsburgh's dirty laundry. I'm curious about one thing. Do you think that he'd be welcomed back as easily in the league if he were going back to Bill Belichick and the Patriots? In other words, you think that he'd be welcome back if he were going to make New England a better team, or if he's going back to Tom Brady?
Armchair. We are the Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast.
You get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. So much, I'm going to have to speed things up. You can get the Farmers Signal app, and that could get you up to 15% off your auto policy. That's just for using the app and driving like the normal speed limit adhering, full stop making lane change signaling human being you are. Get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. Start with a quote by calling 1-800-FARMERS.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Top Gun Supply stocks a wide range of firearms, so stop on by at Top Gun Supply at 525 State Road 16 in St. Augustine. Top Gun Supply is open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Top Gun Supply, the friendly gun shop.
Well, what do we do? This just got way too complicated.
I've got it. Here's what's going down. Corey, you talk to your team. You guys are going to decline that holding call.
Done.
Yo, wait, but then...
Hold on. Trey Sean, once we break this huddle, you're going to get out there, do some crazy celebration. I'm talking some humpies. Whatever you got to do, you do it.
Okay, I got you.
I'm going to call unsportsmanlike conduct on the celebration, giving the whites better field position after the kickoff. Coach, I need you to talk to your team about letting them run that kickoff back.
Why would I do that?
Think about it. Defense, special team, it's all one. You let them run that kickback, both your defenses get 6 points.
Nice.
Okay, everyone good here?
Yeah.
Nope. Once again, my kicker is getting no love.
Oh, shut up, Bill. Your team is in first place. Plus, you're about to get an extra point for the PAT.
Yeah, don't be greedy, Bill.
Stop being greedy, Bill. Bill.
Fine.
Bill. Yeah, Bill.
I said fine.
Bill.
Bill. Yeah, Bill. You, Bill.
All right, let's do this. Get out there.
Wait a minute. Trey Sean comes in with a very delayed celebration here. Oh, wow. I'm pretty sure that's going to be yeah, there it is. Another
Armchair.
No AA Ron, huh? Well, you better be sick, dead, or mute, AA Ron. Here. Why didn't you answer me the first time I said it, huh? Huh? I'm just asking you. I said it like 4 times. So why didn't you say it the first time I said AA Ron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron.
Son of a...
We live in a world now that welcomes and nurtures the screwball in all of us. Hey, it's a new decade, people. Time to get a little nutty. Treat yourself to Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, a smooth flavor that combines two of America's favorites, peanut butter and American whiskey. So no more social awkwardness. Time to embrace who you truly are. Get out there and make friends. And be sure it starts with Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. It's available nearly everywhere. Learn more at screwballwhiskey.com. Infinium Spirits. Please enjoy responsibly.
It's important to remember the value of taking time for ourselves to do the things that help us grow and explore, like learning something new. And now with the Great Courses Plus, it's never been easier to experience the joys of learning. The Great Courses Plus offers thousands of streaming videos that cover hundreds of fascinating topics, from World War II to choosing the perfect wine. You can even take a course on the U.S. government or dealing with stress and anxiety. And because the Great Courses Plus partners with world-class professors and experts, you're always receiving thoroughly vetted, high-quality content from every lecture. Plus, you can watch or listen anytime, anywhere with the Great Courses Plus app. So take a little time for you. Sign up for the Great Courses Plus today for a free month of unlimited access. Visit thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio to get started. That's thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio.
have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Make sure to listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Good enough for us down here in the bayou. Go Tigers and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
It's morning.
Yes, and what a lovely morning. Good morning.
Good morning. We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hold it. What are you doing here? What? What about the other foot? There ain't no sock on it. I'll get to it. Don't you know that the whole world puts on a sock and a sock and a shoe and a shoe? I like to take care of one foot at a time. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. It's just as quick my way. Wait a minute, that ain't the prank. You see what I don't keep doing it. Listen to me. Suppose there's a fire in the house and you got to run your life. Your way, all you got on is one shoe and a sock. My way, you got on a sock and a sock. You see, you're even. Suppose it's raining or snowing outside. Your way, with a sock on each foot, my feet would get wet. My way, with a sock and a shoe on one foot, I could hop around and stay dry.
Armchair.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on CBS Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good morning, and this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. The NBA playoffs begin tonight, 6:30 Eastern on TNT. It's the Charlotte Hornets at the Indiana Pacers. The Washington Wizards are at the Boston Celtics at 9 o'clock Eastern on TNT. NHL Stanley Cup playoffs continue tonight, 7:30 Eastern on NBC Sports Network. The Penguins will try to even it up with the Islanders. Game 2 is in Pittsburgh. 8 o'clock on CNBC. The Lightning, with a 1-0 lead over the Panthers, they travel back into unfriendly territory as the Panthers try to even the series. And at 10 o'clock Eastern on NBC Sports Network, the Wild, up 1-0, they're at the Golden Knights. Major League Baseball today has a full slate going. 6:40 Eastern, it's the Giants at the Reds. Luis Castillo is on the mound for Cincinnati, trying to right his 1-5, 7.71 ERA. At 7:05, the Rays are at the Orioles. Luis Patino's on the mound for Tampa. And at 7:20, Mets at Braves. Charlie Morton takes the hill for Atlanta. 7:37, you got the Red Sox and Blue Jays. 7:40, Nats at the Cubs. Corbin versus Davies. Pirates and Cardinals do battle at 7:45, with John Gant going up against Brubaker. And at 8 o'clock on ESPN, the Yankees are at the Rangers. Tyon versus Fulte. Other games of interest, Marlins at Phillies, White Sox and Twins. The Brewers take on the Royals, and the Indians are at the Angels, with Heaney and Plesac squaring off. 9:40, Astros and A's, Manaea versus Javier. And at 10:10, you got the late slate. Diamondbacks at Dodgers, Rockies at Padres, with Blake Snell on the mound, know what I'm saying? And the Tigers are at the Mariners. And that's your Armchair Quarterback Sports Flash. Stay tuned for more of the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show and YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share our show today. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk, live from the First Coast. Good morning. It's time to wake up, y'all. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, the Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for Southern sports talk. Good morning. I'm Mac McGann. I don't know much, but I know one thing. I am so damn glad that tax season is essentially over. I am wore out, y'all. Let's get this thing going. All right, we've got the NBA playoffs starting today. We've got the NHL playoffs. Some great games tonight. Reactions to last night. And then, of course, we've got Major League Baseball and that terrible, terrible hit to the face that Pilar took for the Mets against the Braves. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
You're even scared to ask a girl out on a date.
Why does everybody think that I'm scared of girls?
Because you're a chicken.
You're a chicken.
Cuckoo-ca-cha! Cuckoo-ca-cha!
What are you doing?
Michael and women? That's what I was just telling him.
Look, I haven't found the right girl. When I do, I will ask her out. Has anyone in this family ever even seen a chicken?
Wait, I got the perfect thing.
That's enough.
Oh, come on.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man.
Hey, howdy, hi. Top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. Mac McGee. Justin Waller, I had an emergency that he had to take care of. Everything's fine, but anyways, he won't be making it to this segment today. We do have Bobby on the way, and we are going to be talking Arizona Cardinal predictions. So we're going to go through the Arizona Cardinal schedule and talk about where we think they're. Will they be in the playoffs this year with some of the additions that they have? A wide open NL. I almost said it, NL. A wide open NFC West. But let's get to the topic at hand. The first thing, okay, first of all, tax day. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I'm wore out. I'm just on fumes right now. The last several days, those of us doing this, helping people with their taxes. Oh my God. And the people that wait till the last day are just hilarious because they call you up. They're having some kind of a technical issue, right? And they're flipping out about, what to do, calling late last night, right? Flipping out because their taxes won't go through because they're getting denied for one reason or the other through the computer system. You don't care about those issues. But I'm like, dude, you leave it to the last day and then you freak out because you find out you might have to do it the old fashioned way and mail it in. Well, it's 9 o'clock. Well, you better get your ass going up to the post office. That's all I can tell you. They think we have some kind of magic wand to get them out of their worries. So that's item number one. I have some funny stories that I'll tell later date that some of these people were calling about some of the dumbest things that you're like, really? How the hell do you adult on a regular daily basis when you can't figure this out, right? So, doing this reminds me every year how incompetent the human race actually is. Second item, man, that was a terrible, terrible hit to. I guess I got to use the sound effect, right? If y'all missed that, I thought about pulling up the video and I decided not to because it was kind of gruesome. But Kevin Pilar was smoked in the face by Jacob Webb. It was by accident. He wasn't going after him. Nonetheless, I mean, there was just blood spewing out of his freaking face. And everyone on both sides, I mean, it went from we got to win this game tight situation to, oh, my God, I hope he's on. My first thought is, I didn't think he killed him or anything, but I was thinking that he was going to be in much worse shape than what he is. He walked off on his own power. I have to give Pilar a lot of credit. Hopefully he did a full recovery very soon, but wow. And we'll get more into that into the Braves Today show that I do later on. We try to have that thing up somewhere between the 10 and 10:30 Eastern. Is usually when I try to get that thing going. For people that missed it, a couple of things of news items before I get into this ridiculous story that I found. Max Fried came out of the game last night, but evidently it was a hand cramp. And I can tell you he's pissed because he was like, why am I coming out of the game over it. You knew it was not something that he felt was a big deal because he had that look like this, like, I know I have to listen to y'all. If I don't listen to y'all, then when I come up for a contract down the road, I'm never going to hear the end of it. So I got to walk out of this game. But you could tell Max Fried was in bulldog mode, did not want to come out of the game. So that's item number 2. He's okay. He's fine. We don't know about Mike Trout. Mike Trout came out of the game last night. They're saying they're going to do an MRI on him today, but it sounds like some kind of a groin or hamstring strain. They're not 100% sure. Here's the deal. The guy's headed to the IL. There's no way he doesn't go 10 days to the IL. So if you're fantasy baseball, DFS out there, the guy is headed to the IL. There's no way around it. Okay. And so you got to start kind of realizing if you have him, I've got him in a couple of leagues. You got to realize it's time for plan B because the guy is headed to the IL. What sucked for me is I got so many guys on the IL, I can't really pick up anybody to just slide in there. I've got to basically go out there and I'll have to pick up an outfielder or just keep him in a dead spot and not get points for him every week for like, at least I would think a couple of weeks. You don't want to do that because you're talking about a big difference. It's kind of like if you play fantasy football and you understand that, it's like going the weekend without your there's so many players in fantasy baseball. I don't want to say it's like being without your running back, although Trout is that kind of elite level. It's kind of like going in there and saying, screw it, I'm going to run without a tight end this week. And then you go up against a guy at the tight end. He scores 10 or 12 points and you lose by 7. And you're going to be like, Christ, I should have. So that's what's going on with Mike Trout. Enoa, that dumbass is out for about 1 to 2 months because he broke his hand Sunday punching the bench. His pitch hand. He punched his pitch hand punching the bench because he pitched terribly in the game on Sunday. So growing up is hard to do. We all know that, but that is a just dope move. What a dope. You are having a breakout year, would have been a favorite for rookie of the year, and you go out and you break your hand punching the bench. We all know that guys have done this over the years, that in every single one, I'll say the same thing about them. You look like a dumbass, a full-blown dumbass. And I don't hear, oh, I'm sorry. No, you're a dumbass. You're a full-blown dumbass, and you're not seeing the big picture. Not just what's good for the team. Dude, you get a rookie of the year? That's going to come up in arbitration. And then, of course, eventually free agency. Just cost yourself a lot of money, bozo. Okay. Conforto and McNeil head to the IL as well. For the Mets. So we got a lot of that, and we'll get into some more of that down the road. This Kyrie Irving thing, did y'all see this? This is the stupidest jackass in America right now. Kyrie Irving makes about $35 million a year. I want to say it's just below that. But I always want to call them the New Jersey. The Brooklyn Nets pay him around $35 million a year. And the Brooklyn Nets expect this jackass to show up and give it his all. We're now in the postseason, right? NBA postseason is here. And he said, and I had to write the quote down, telling a reporter the other day, who was essentially asking him, are you ready for the playoffs? And how this team will gel and blah, blah, blah. This is a writer in the city of Brooklyn who's trying to write a story that Nets fans care about. People who we've all been through a lot of crap over the last year. You're not the only one, you jerk off, okay? And we try to escape through sports. And this idiot, I'm starting to realize now Kyrie Irving did not declare himself eligible for the NBA draft early when he left Duke because he wanted to go play in the NBA. He left early because he realized he wasn't going to pass a damn class at Duke University. Duke is an elite university. There's no way that idiot was going to pass the class on his own. If he didn't dribble ball real good, he was not going to pass the class. So he goes in and he says this to a reporter. And of course, he said dumb things like this repetitively over the last year. And realistically, this is the same guy that told us that the earth was flat. Okay? Quote, a lot of stuff is going on in this world, and basketball is just not the most important thing right now. Basketball is just not the most important thing right now. He said that this past weekend, leading into the NBA playoffs, where fans are going to be in the stands, where he was brought in to help Kevin Durant and now James Harden win a championship. Basketball was not the most important thing right now. What the hell is more important going on than basketball right now to you, Kyrie Irving, who makes $35 million a year for essentially a 2-month playoff run? As nobody watches the NBA regular season. We know that the NBA viewership is down as a whole. This junk like this is not helping. But nobody cares about the NBA regular season because it is a joke. Okay, everybody gets in. It's just like the hockey playoffs. Everybody gets in. It's the playoff. Once you get to the playoffs, you better have your game on. And guys like Durant and KD, not to mention all their other teammates. I don't want to gloss over the fact that the other teammates aren't helping them win. Of course they are. It is still somewhat of a team sport. But that's not the most important thing to you right now. What the hell are we talking about? It better damn well be the most important thing to you right now for the next 2 months. I don't care what the hell you've got going on because we pay you too much money for it not to be the most important thing going on right now. That would be my stance if I'm the ownership of the Nets. They're stuck with him for 1 more year. So they're having to endure this because I don't think anybody in their right mind would bring in Kyrie Irving at that salary to help lead their team. So they're stuck. Once they get out of their contract, no way the Nets re-sign him. Well, this is some club-friendly deal because he finds out nobody wants him. He's going to play like for minimum. But there's no way they re-sign him. It's going to be KD. It's going to be Harden, and they'll go spend money because they're Brooklyn and they'll have the money. They'll go spend money and get a third person to help them win championships and not worry about this dope, and let him go play for A-Rod and the Minnesota Timberwolves, and he can talk about how important things are to him when no one's going to give a damn because you're on a team that's 20-60 and 72 games out of the playoffs. Anyways, I'll get off that, but I was like, what in the living hell are we talking about? Basketball is not the most important thing to you. You know the difference between you, Kyrie, who has an incredible amount of talent, and Tom Brady? That statement right there. You can hate Tom Brady for all you want, be jealous of him. All the hate is nothing but jealousy. But that statement right there, it's not the most important. That's the difference. Tom Brady makes it so damn important that he'll eat avocado ice cream all year long because he wants to stay in shape because it is the most important thing to him. I know Kyrie's got the 1 ring and he played phenomenal in that series. He's a dope. And as much as I dislike LeBron, I see now why the two didn't get along. Because as much as LeBron is a virtue signaler and he's phony and everybody knows that, and he wants to try to call himself the greatest with his 3.5 championships. Yes, I said it. I'm not giving that last year a full championship ever. It's just simply the fact that LeBron does want to win and will go in at all costs. And that's the mentality of the Jordans, of the Birds, of the Magics, Tim Duncan, you name it, throughout the history. The guys with multiple championships, it is the most important thing to them because it was their legacy. And you're not, and if that's the case, then quit, take the money that you have and go be a philanthropist or go out and volunteer your damn self. But to just talk about it, so you virtue signaling, I fully expect, Kyrie, for the days for the months that you're off, that you're in like the Peace Corps or something, because I don't want to see something where you're out on a boat and you're celebrating with your teammates in August about what you did in July, because basketball just is not that important. All right. Other things we got going on. Did you see Marv Albert is retiring? 35 years in broadcasting for the NBA. I saw Adam Silver put something about, he's the, I forget the exact wording. I was busy at the time. But he was talking about his legacy and how he's just a great person. And all I can think of is Marv Albert biting that hooker on the ass. Do y'all remember that story? It came out, it's been decades ago, but he came out, a married man went out and he used to pay some hooker to bite her on the ass. And they had to suspend him from, I think it was NBC at the time, but I don't remember how that went down. But that's all I could think of. I was like, look, you're into what you're into, okay? But what I'm saying is, don't give us this phony thing that Adam Silver released. It was like this long, and I read it, and you would have thought that he was talking about Gandhi. And I'm like, come on now, let's get it together. Let's have some perspective on the ass biter, okay? We talked about the Pilar injury. Florida State loses to Santa Clara in the national championship game, women's soccer. I know when people don't really care about women's soccer, and I get that, but I want to say something. They got to get it together in college soccer. Do you know that if it goes to overtime, they play one overtime and then they'll play a second overtime, and those are both sudden deaths. And so they're 10-minute half, 10-minute. You can't call it a half. It's a quarter or whatever. After that, they go to penalty kicks to decide your national championship, and that's what decide. That is lame and extremely embarrassing. If you're college soccer, that is look. I've watched a lot of college soccer over the years. Florida State's always been really good, and they've won several national championships. And if I have a rooting interest with the men's, or just recognize some teams that I might care for, I'll sometimes watch that. But normally the teams I don't really care about because they're usually from the West Coast. Last time was Indiana and Marshall, but I don't think I ever came across the fact that the national championship game came down to penalty kicks. So I never realized that. This might have always been the rule. It is stupid. This is like shooting free throws in the Final Four to decide who's the national champion. It's like coming up to, hey, we're just going to do place kicks. Oh, by the way, we're not going to even rush the line. And the best place, we're going to have our place kickers do around a horse to decide who the football national champion is. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. You got to get it together, college soccer. That's embarrassing that you would even say that's how you win it. You should continue to have overtimes, and I get it. They're not as conditioned as the males. So maybe you continue with the 10-minute overtimes. Eventually someone's going to win because those girls were on fumes, but eventually someone's going to wear down and someone's going to score. I mean, if you watch the game, and this really has nothing to do with it because I don't get emotionally involved in a women's soccer game. So it's not like I've followed this team for my whole life or something, but if you watch that game, Florida State dominated that game and then they lost it on penalty kicks. That's stupid. And I said the same thing the other day when Florida State advanced against Virginia. It was stupid. I feel like Virginia at least played toe-to-toe with Florida State and did not deserve to be eliminated by penalty kicks. It's just, it's dopey, and they need to change the rule. And we got a couple more minutes before we have to head to break, and Bobby will be here. But I wanted to throw something out at you real quick. We're at the quarter pole of Major League Baseball. I won't be able to get into many of them, But you know what? I'll save that for tomorrow. Let's talk the playoffs. The playoffs are kicking off tonight. NBA playoffs. I can't say that I give a damn about Charlotte and Indiana at 6:30, so I won't watch that. It's not like I'm protesting it or something. It's not going to interest me. I'll probably put the Boston game on at 9, but I'm going to be pretty damn tired. I'm exhausted at this point, and I work all day again today, so I don't think I'm going to make it through that game. I would say this. I would have liked to have watched the Golden State Lakers game tomorrow night. They're not starting until 10 o'clock Eastern. That means that game won't get over until around 1 a.m. Eastern. I'll just see the highlights. But that is a game I would like to see Steph Curry take out LeBron in a one-game play. I know he still has a chance to advance when he plays the loser of the the winner of the loser bowl, San Antonio versus Memphis. But I would have liked to watch that. The NHL last night, real quick, we'll hit you with the scores. The Boston-Washington game, Boston ends up winning that game 4-3 in overtime, in case you missed that. And Nashville loses 5-2. It was a good game till the third period. I watched the full second and third period. It was a really good game, and then they just lost all control. That last fifth goal was an empty netter. And Colorado starts out with beating St. Louis 4-1. They look really, really tough. All right, Bobby's joining us. We're going to take an extremely quick break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a flash here on the Armchair Quarterbacks. You're listening to CBS Sports Radio.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Is that Shakespeare?
Nope, it's Geico.
Yeah, that's Shakespeare from one of his unpublished works. Oh, it be not for awakening. Nay, giveth thou the berries. For 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
No, it's from Geico, because they help save people money.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but Geico got it from Shakespeare.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Take the road less traveled in the newly redesigned Hyundai Santa Fe. With available H-Track all-wheel drive to help you get off the beaten path a little further together. And intuitive safety features that can help you see what's...
Now, if you want to crown them, but they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
The Armchair Quarterback Show, weekdays, coast to coast, Southern Sports Talk Radio. Your first choice for sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Slide here is your X, but if that's the call, Mike, Will, and Sam all have to know they're shifting. Open palms to post, thumbs ups across her, thumbs downs and out. Trevor, why don't you get up here and draw that for us?
Playing real football is hard. Playing fantasy football when you got the Armchair Quarterbacks by your side makes it a lot easier. Make sure to join the Armchair Quarterbacks right here. We'll answer all your questions, pickups, trades, you name it. You want to win your league? Then listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. And don't be scared to tap that app. Find the Armchair Quarterbacks app today.
Fantasy football time.
Do you want to lose 18 pounds fast and improve your health? Now you can lose up to 18 pounds in your first 2 months with Nutrisystem. Get delicious breakfasts, lunches, dinners, even snacks and shakes delivered safely to your door. All delivered for free. It's easy to follow, and you'll see results in your first week. Just text BURN to 323232. You'll get your favorite foods made healthier and perfectly balanced to put your body in fat burning mode. Text BURN to 323232 right now and get 50% off a month of meals and shakes. That's right, 50% off a month of meals and 50% off a month of shakes with probiotics to help support your immune system. Just text BURN to 323232 right now. There's even a money-back guarantee. Millions of people have lost weight with Nutrisystem, and you can too. Lose up to 18 pounds in your first 2 months. Just text BURN to 323232. That's BURN to 323232.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
What's happening in sports? Find out when it happens. Get the CBS Sports app free in the Android market and iTunes App Store.
Having some technical difficulties basically because I'm tired as hell. Fat fingering things. God, I'm glad tax day's over. Welcoming on to the show is Bobby the Kid. Bobby, how the hell are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I could be doing better. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. This is the final day of tax day. It's what they call peak day in the business, and I'm just like, but I still consumed quite a bit of sports yesterday, including the game between the Mets and the Braves, and then of course the Preds. Did you catch that game, that being in your market?
I didn't know. I was a little bit busy last night, but I was keeping up with it. I know it didn't end how he wanted it to, like 5-2.
It was busy last night? Well,
yes, sir.
What's her
I had some work to get done. So yeah, but no, that game didn't go exactly as we wanted it to, I'm sure, 5-2. But you know, there's plenty of games left to win, so I don't think it's over yet. But it's not favorable, I guess.
I'll tell you this: for the first time really watching Carolina, I was aware that they were really good just by the record and a couple of things that I've read.
Yeah.
I haven't watched a whole lot of regular season hockey because it's just like basketball; it's boring as tears because everybody gets in. But once the playoffs start, I get locked into the playoffs.
Yep.
And I was impressed with how well Nashville played. I think they've got a decent chance of at least getting a game or two. I don't know. I think Carolina might be too tough from what I saw last night for Nashville to be able to. I'll tell you one thing. I'm just pleasantly surprised that they're as good as they are, Nashville, because when we first started the season this year and we did kind of a couple weeks in, we were doing kind of a preview type thing, and our hockey aficionados, Sean and Justin, told me that the Preds were terrible and they had no chance. I was like, okay. So I didn't pay attention to the standings for a month. And all of a sudden I look up and I had to bring it to and say, thought y'all said they suck, dude. They're in the playoffs. Then, you know, they got the top hat and cane out and say, well, what I meant to say was hey.
Yep.
So anyways, they also buried the Islanders too. I was like, I'm starting to question my so-called NHL experts. But anyways, I give them a hard time. All right, so let's go diving into the NFL. Draft was released last week.
On the schedule.
You haven't been on since. So before we get into the Arizona Cardinals, give me like 3 games that jumped out at you that's not Cardinal related, not Titans related, that you're like, man, I'll tell you what, I am all in. I cannot wait for these games. What you got?
All right, this one's probably the easy answer, and I hate to do this, but Patriots Bucks. I think all eyes are going to be on that game, not because it's a good matchup between the two teams. We all know the Bucks are significantly better, but we all want to see Brady back in Foxborough, see how that plays out, see all the extracurriculars.
Who knows Brady better than Belichick?
That's nobody.
How does Belichick defend Brady, and does he put some kind of code out there that essentially the rest of the league starts copycatting? So that's the matchup that I'm interested in. No NFL game is a give me. I think talent-wise, Tampa Bay is definitely the better team. But you're also talking about a game that's going to be in Foxborough. It's a Sunday night. The crowd's going to be going wild, and I would like to see that matchup. And I will say this: I'm going to call my shot right here, assuming there's no injury, right? So that's week 4, right? Of the regular season. Mac Jones makes his debut in a Patriots as a starter week 5.
You think he'll take over that early?
They're going to get him through that game. Cam Newton's going to look terrible like he always does. They never should have re-signed him. It was a waste of money.
Especially if they're drafting a quarterback.
I would have signed a lesser than and then draft Mac Jones in the draft like they did. But they will go out and let Cam Newton do his thing for a few weeks, and then when he gets embarrassed on Sunday Night Football, that's when they go to Mac Jones in week 5. I'm just calling the shot now. Don't have anything to base this on. I can see the tea leaves.
And you think Mac Jones is going to get the job over Stidham? You think Mac Jones is going to be ready by then?
I do, because he is he was a redshirt senior, so he played under Saban for 5 years, and I think he's going to take it as a personal insult that all those teams passed on him, and he's incredible. He is what Belichick wants, an accurate passer, a field general. He doesn't care about having it's not like he's going to turn it down, but he doesn't care about a quarterback's athletic ability as he does in between the ears. And so that's why Cam Newton won't ever succeed in New England, because he spent his entire career doing it all off his talent alone. We all know, even when he was in Carolina and he was having some good years, it was all based on his legs, right? He's gotten older, he's slower. He's never been a guy that's been very accurate with his passing. And so now it's magnified because of his age. And so that's the way. Wait till Lamar Jackson starts to break down. It's a wrap.
You think so?
He's a terrible passer.
I think he's a solid enough passer to hold up at least. He won't be, by the time his legs start to wear down, I don't think he'll be a top 10 quarterback, but I think he'll at least be a viable
he's not a top
starter.
10 quarterback now.
Come on.
He's not. You're going to tell me,
come on,
Lamar Jackson is a top. I'm not talking about a top 10 running back, a top 10 quarterback.
You gotta include everything he does at the position, including running. That's not something you leave out, because he wins games.
But you also have to include everything he does at the position, including his terrible passer rating and the fact that he misses guys by like 20 yards. You have to, if you're going to take the good, you have to accept what he's bad at.
To be fair, I wouldn't give him. I wouldn't go too hard on him off the passing, because look at his receiving core. I mean, his wide receiver 1 last year was Marquise Brown. He was throwing to a guy who probably isn't even a wide receiver 2 on most teams.
I'm going to tell you right now, by the end of this year, these are quarterbacks that are all better than Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen. I'm not sold on Tua Tagovailoa. He's got to prove something.
Yeah.
Mac Jones will be better than him by the end of this year. Zach Wilson will be a better quarterback than him by the end of this year. I'm going to give the nod to Roethlisberger with this asterisk, because if he continues down a path like he did at the end of the year where he looked worn down, then I'll eat my words. But so that one's a question mark. Okay. So we'll just put that. So in the AFC East, I'm giving you at least 2 quarterbacks that I think are going to be better quarterbacks than him. In his own division, Joe Burrow is a better quarterback, and Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback. Baker Mayfield showed a lot of resilience and guile and took a next step. Okay, so there's 2.
I could see Baker. That makes a little bit of sense.
Okay, so
I don't see Burrow though. I think Burrow's got
4 quarterbacks
more to go
already. Deshaun Watson, no matter what he's being accused of, Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback.
If he plays.
If he plays, but as of right now, Trevor Lawrence is going to be a better quarterback by this year.
2 rookies? 2?
Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback. Trevor Lawrence was a better quarterback at Clemson than what Lamar Jackson was a quarterback at any level. Okay.
He was good at Louisville. He was special.
He was good. He wasn't special, because if he was special, he would have had his team in the playoffs. He wasn't special. I mean,
that's fair.
Unless we're talking about like short bus or something. Okay. All right. So Tannehill, maybe everything that Jackson does athletically, he can't do what Tannehill does as far as throwing the ball. So that's almost a stalemate between those 2. The jury's out on Wentz right now, but I'd like to see what Wentz is going to do when Reich gets a hold of him this year, right? So okay. So I have at least 2 quarterbacks in that division. Okay. Patrick Mahomes.
That's a given.
Herbert.
That's not a bad take. I think by the end
he's
of
definitely
year,
a better quarterback than Jackson.
I mean, Herbert's got all the
Already.
tools a quarterback could need. I mean, he's got a great offensive line now. He's got a great receiving core.
Already, I've
He's got a good
8
running back in the
quarterbacks that
backfield.
I would rather have than Lamar Jackson, bare minimum, and we're not even in the NFC. NFC, I'm taking Dak Prescott 1,000 times. We won't go past that.
That's a close one.
Dak Prescott is not a close one. Dak Prescott is
Oh, it
an elite
absolutely
quarterback.
is.
Dak Prescott is an elite quarterback. Lamar Jackson's not an elite quarterback. Just because you play with
everything
him on
that Lamar brings
PlayStation.
to the game, I think. Everything that Lamar brings to the game, I think that kind of it
Like
gives him
like
the
his
edge over
terrible
that.
passer rating and his terrible stats. Yeah, everything he brings to
I
the
don't.
game.
Hey, the
It's
stats
not
can
even
mean whatever
close.
they want.
They just gave
If
the man
he's winning
$40 million
games,
a year. It's not even close. You can't even tell me
come
Dak
on.
Prescott. I know he's coming off an injury, but pre-injury, Dak Prescott puts 300-yard passing games up like it's nothing. Okay.
Well, let's see how he bounces back from that injury. That's a big question mark as well. That's up in the air.
It is,
So,
but I have to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's been so damn good so far. We go and that's the only one I'll give him the NFCs because the rest of the quarterbacks are big question marks. We'll throw it this way. NFC North, Aaron Rodgers. Hello.
If he stays in the NFC North.
Well, we're going through it, right?
Yeah, I get you. I hear what you're saying.
We're not doing a breakdown of the conference. And then you've got the rest of that division, some question marks, but Justin Fields might be better than him, but I'm not sold on Justin Fields yet because he only had a couple of great games in big moments in college, and he wasn't consistent. So I've got to see it from a consistent level. But that's when you got to keep an eye on. But anyways, we'll throw that one past. Tom Brady, shut the hell up. It's not even close. Matt Ryan is a better quarterback than him. There's no doubt about it. And then you go to the West.
Let's see it. Let's see next year, though. Next year. That's what we're talking.
Yeah, this coming year, he's going to be even better. He's got Kyle Pitts now.
That's
and
fair.
then the West.
I think his age might show, though, a little bit.
West. If he was in the West, the best he could be is the fourth best quarterback in because you got Kyler Murray, Stafford, and Russell Wilson. Now, how the hell is Lamar Jackson a top 10 quarterback? Bam! The defense.
I'll put a handful of quarterbacks above Lamar. Sorry. I'll in no particular.
And you'd be wrong.
Mahomes, Rodgers.
We'll be following this all year.
Mahomes, Rodgers, Watson. We'll go Allen, obviously. Russell Wilson.
Take fantasy football out of the equation. I'm talking about real.
Oh no fantasy, no fantasy. I'm talking about who's going to win games. Who's going to win games? So that's 5. Kyler, I believe. Brady, like you mentioned. I'll give Baker the edge. Baker, he was great last year, and I think he'll do big things. He'll have Odell coming back. I think him and that Stefanski offense will be it'll be fun to watch again. And I think he at bare minimum. They should be making it to the divisional round. If they don't do that again, then that's a severe disappointment. But I think they can make it that far. So I'll give him the edge over Lamar. And then Herbert. I think Herbert's next year, I think he'll be probably a top 6 quarterback. He has so many tools, and he looked phenomenal last year, and I think it's only up from here. So, and he's got a new coach, an improved coach. So, I think Lamar's in the top 10. I think he stays up there.
73.7 passer rating last year.
That's not pretty, but you got to
consider
he's got. I know, but he's got receivers now. He's throwing to Bateman. Marquise Brown is going to be forced in the wide receiver 1 role. I don't know about that. I wouldn't say Marquise Brown's a reliable option. They signed Sammy Watkins too. I think you'll see an improvement
Sammy
in the
Watkins
passing game.
Be a buzz. Please get in a fantasy league with us because you're gonna get murdered.
For sure.
You're gonna be out there. Yes. You're gonna be out there drafting freaking Sammy Watkins in the 4th round.
Hey, I'll get Lamar though. I'll get Lamar just to prove it, just to get it. I'm not drafting Sammy Watkins. I think he might do something, but that's a big question mark. So
I just think I think Lamar Jackson is too heavily reliant on the defense having to worry about the run, and the longer and he's gotten progressively worse this coming year. And I'll give you the fact that the QBR is not as terrible as it could be. Okay, I'll give you that. but they also factor in some of the running now for the QBR, which they shouldn't because it's got nothing to do with it. But regardless, I'm not taking him over. I mean, I'm looking at the list of quarterbacks here to run my offense. I mean, even Ryan Fitzpatrick has a higher QBR than him.
Does QBR translate to wins though? You know,
it does with Ryan Fitzpatrick. That dude wins. It's not his fault that they benched him in Miami because Miami screwed that up. They screwed.
Miami was a playoff team before they benched.
They were a Super Bowl contender before they go. Well, yes, start 2 drafted them. Just because you drafted them high doesn't mean you don't go, dude. What that play, that miracle win that he had with the Raiders, that alone should have kept him the starting quarterback.
Oh, easily. They should have never lost it. He didn't play bad enough to lose the job.
I hope he goes to Washington this year and kicks everybody's ass. And I've never been a Redskin.
He's got a good receiving core. He's got a good running back in Antonio Gibson, and he's got
a hell of a damn,
easily a top 3 defense. Easily.
That defense, I think, is probably number 1 in
probably. Their front 7 is on that.
They were playing number 1 by the end of the year. I'll tell you that. And Chase Young, he stays healthy. That guy's a monster.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's get into your Cardinals. I'm done browbeating you over the. I just always like the debates, man. It's always fun.
It's fun, yeah.
Let's go ahead and get into the Arizona Cardinals and what is easily a quarterback much better than Lamar Jackson.
I'll agree with you on that.
Even though he's a midget, I still think he's a better quarterback. I'm sorry, little people. Let's go ahead and dive into the regular season. The Cardinals, they start off week 1 against the Tennessee Titans in Nashville. How do you see that going? Are you going to that game, by the way?
I am. I'm planning on it. Me and a friend, and I think my mom might tag along if she wants to go see it with me because she's a big Titans fan as well.
That's awesome.
We might go see it. Yeah, my friend, he's a big Titans fan, so that'll be a fun little rivalry going on. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I was hoping and praying that when the schedule came out that it would be in Tennessee for this game, and thankfully it was. So I think we've got to go see it. That's gonna be fun.
All right. So do they win it in Nashville?
Oh, I think it's gonna be a shootout. I'm gonna give it to the Titans though, just because with how unproven Zaven Collins and Isaiah Simmons are, and our defensive line isn't particularly great on the interior. I think Henry's gonna have a big time game, and then AJ Brown as well. He's already amazing, and we'll see him in, I believe, year 3. I think he's going to do good against our defense or our secondary, because our secondary isn't great either. So I think he'll have a big game, and I think it'll just be too much for us to beat. I think it'll be a high scoring game though.
All right, next game on the docket:
Vikings Cardinals. I'm going to give the edge to the Cardinals on that one. Again, we're playing another good running back and Dalvin Cook, but I think I'm not too sold on Kirk Cousins. I haven't been. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback, especially. I think a lot of his big moments come late in games when the game's already out of reach. But I don't know. I think we'll take the edge on that one.
He's the passing version of Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, basically, he has nothing outside of, I guess, a small skill set. But no, I think the Cardinals win that game. I think their defense has, declined severely over the past few years. Mike Zimmer's always had a good defense, but lately it just hasn't been up to par. And I think Danielle Hunter, I don't know. I think he was trying to get out of Minnesota. So I think our offense should be able to hang with them, and I think we'll put up more points and ultimately win.
All right, we got to get this moving so we get all the meetings in, because I rattled on about how terrible Lamar Jackson was. At the Jaguars.
That's going to be fun. We're going to get to see Trevor Lawrence early. I would like to go to that game. I don't think I will, but I'm going to be enjoying watching that one. I think we'll win, though. I think there's so much change going on with the Jaguars. I think it'll take a few weeks into the season, or probably 4 or 5, to kind of mesh, get together, and start winning some games. But yeah, rookie quarterback, new running back being brought in alongside James Robinson, new coach, change defense. I think it'll take a while for them to kind of mesh, and I think we'll win that game pretty handily.
All right. Next game on the docket.
Ooh, hold on. Who do we got? Rams.
Do you have the schedule in front of you? What the hell are you doing?
I had it pulled up, but my Wi-Fi it's not seeming to work. I'm having some issues with that.
Oh man!
But Rams, no, I think the Rams are kind of they're our kryptonite. We can never seem to beat the Rams, and I think they've only gotten better this year. Adding on Matt Stafford, he's Stafford. He's incredible. If he can stay healthy, which he should by week 4, I think they'll win that game, and I think they'll, like I said, win pretty handily. So.
All right. You got the 49ers in Arizona.
That'll be fun. We'll get to see Trey Lance. I think again, like I said, with the Jaguars, another rookie quarterback, I think it's going to take a little bit of time for them to mesh if Jimmy Garoppolo isn't starting. But either way, even if Jimmy G is starting, I still think it's a win for the Cardinals. I think, they'll have Bosa back and healthy, but you saw them last year. They were fully healthy week 1, and we still beat them. And I think we've only gotten better. So I think we'll win. It'll be a tight game, but I think the Cardinals will take it.
Okay. At the Browns, Fox game.
That's one of the games this year that I'm looking forward to the most. 2 offenses that are going to be really fun to watch, electric. I think the Browns are going to win because their defense is just about as good as their offense. The talent they have all over the field is just incredible. So I think the Browns will take that. I think it'll be a very fun game, though, and I think it'll be fun to see Kyler and Baker go at it again.
Okay. After that, we got to start picking this pace up. Okay. So versus the Texans, versus the Packers at home, and then at the 49ers. What you got?
Okay, Texans, I don't even got to go into that one. I think we kind of have a feeling how that's going to go. Packers, that's going to be solely dependent on whether or not Rodgers is there next year. If he is, I think they'll. Yeah, I don't think.
I think the magic date is June 1st in a couple of weeks. When after June 1st, if he's traded, they don't get hit with the salary cap, and you'll see Rodgers traded somewhere in the month of June, I would think, so that whoever gets him has a chance to kind of get it together by OTAs.
Yeah. No, I think if they have Rodgers, which is going to be, that's probably not going to happen. I think they'll beat us, but assuming they don't, I think we take that one because I'm not too sold on Jordan Love. I think he's got a lot to prove, and I'm not sure if he can. So, but I think we'll take that game. And then who's after the Packers?
You got the Packers at the 49ers. Basically, we've taken too long to go through all this. What's your season prediction for them?
I think around the 9-8, 10-7 range is probably a fair prediction. I don't think we're going to get terribly better than we did last year, just because I'm not too confident in Cliff Kingsbury's play calling, and there's a lot of things there's a lot of question marks. So I don't think we're going to be expecting a 13-3 season, anything crazy like or 13-4, 14-3, whatever it may be. I don't think I should expect that, and I think it'd be very unreasonable. But I think kind of around the same range last year, except a little bit better. I think we will, and I think we'll probably sneak into the playoffs.
What's their record? You got to pick one.
10-7, locking it in.
That's exactly what I have them at is 10-7. I went through it, and essentially, I mean, look, I've got them losing to the Titans most likely because it's opening game, and I don't know if they'll be able to. I don't know if they'll be able to get him on the field as much because they're going to pound that rock. But the Titans do tend to come out slow, so who knows? I know they will probably win the Minnesota game and the Jags game. But to finish up my thoughts on it, I've got them losing at the Rams. I've got them losing at the Browns. Probably lose at the 49ers. That's a tough place to play.
Yeah.
The Bears will be an interesting one. I figured they're going to lose one of the games to the Seahawks. So already that has me at 6 losses. The Colts are going to be interesting, but it is in Arizona, so it's kind of anybody's game at that point. And I'm throwing in a loss somewhere along the way. 10-7. It would not shock me if they're closer to the 9-8, 8-9, but I'm going 10-7 as well. All right, it is time to turn back time and do our walk-offs here on the Armchair Quarterbacks here. Where are we at here? Too many screens here to pull up and talk at the same time. That's always my biggest obstacle here. All right, ready? Here we go. On this date in 2004, Mr. Randy Johnson becomes the 16th pitcher to throw a perfect game in a 2-0 game versus Atlanta. I remember that thing like it was yesterday, man. I watched the entire thing. I was desperately hoping the Braves would get a base hit, but it was a phenomenal performance by Randy Johnson. It's one of those sports moments where I'll always remember where I was at when it happened. It just stands out. That's the thing about these no-hitters. People get overly excited about these no-hitters nowadays. They're not as exciting as they used to be because they didn't happen very often because you didn't have guys swinging for the fence every single. It was embarrassing not to get a base. It was embarrassing to get a strikeout. So I kind of have to I hate to say it, but today's modern no-hitter means nothing to me. A perfect game will still mean something because that means you don't allow anyone on base, including the high walk rate that we have nowadays in the sport, because they're throwing so hard and just blindly throwing. They're not pitching, and so walks are increasing. Unless you're the Braves and you swing for every damn thing. And last night I was watching the game, and I go, here we are, third inning, and beginning of third inning, 1 out, and they'd only forced the starting pitcher to throw 20 pitches. You're not going to win games consistently like that, Atlanta. They've got too many. I'm going to talk about that in a Braves country today, but they've got too many first pitch swingers at the top of that lineup. Also on this date in 2002, Pedro Martinez becomes the 11th pitcher in American League history to record what they call an immaculate inning. Do you have any idea what an immaculate inning is?
No, I'm not sure. No, I don't know what that is.
I don't think it's a common phrase that a lot of people know.
Yeah.
What it means is you face 3 batters in the inning and you struck them all out on 9 pitches. So in other words,
perfect inning.
Right, exactly. A perfect inning. I mean, I remember Greg Maddux being asked about what a perfect inning would be to him, or a perfect game be to him. Would it be 27 strikeouts? He said, no, it'd be 27 pitches and they all ground out weakly to first base. He said, why the hell do I want to throw that many pitches if I can get you to ground out? And that's why they called him the professor. All right, birthdays.
It's your birthday today.
Mr. Yannick Noah, French tennis player. Happy 61st birthday. Do you know who he is?
I can't say I do. I'm not a big tennis guy, but
do you know who his son is? That's really more.
What was his last name?
Noah.
Noah.
He is Joakim Noah's son. The Chicago Bull basketball player.
Yeah.
For many a year.
He was a Florida player as well. Won a championship with us.
Yeah, we try to forgive him on that. I actually met Joakim up in the Hamptons one summer. Yeah. He came into my restaurant, and really nice guy. We gave each other a lot of shit. Excuse me. I'll have to bleep that out later. A lot of junk. And anyways, joked around. And anyways, nice guy. And I told him, I said, you've really made me mad at this point because now I feel like I have to pull for you and you're a Gator. So what is your walk-off for the day, sir?
Tomorrow, 9 Central Time, Warriors-Lakers play-in game. I think that's going to be very fun. It's one game to decide who gets the 7th seed and who ends up playing to battle it out with the winner of the 9 versus 10 seed for the 8 seed. But I think that's going to be a very fun game. LeBron versus Curry, big storyline there.
Will you stay up to watch that?
Decided. Absolutely. That's good fun, and it's gonna impact who the top 2 seeds play, and I think any team's trying to avoid a healthy Lakers team, no matter how good you are, whether it's the Suns or the Jazz. I don't think either one of those two want to play a healthy Lakers team.
I wish it wasn't on so late. It comes on 10 Eastern. It won't get over to 1 a.m. And then I have to be up to get ready for the show in less than 6 hours from that. So it sucks. That's the one NBA game that I really want to watch. So I want to see Curry kick the crap out of LeBron. But anyways, I'll just have to. I said this earlier in the week. I'm going to try to keep up with as much NBA playoffs as possible, NHL playoffs as possible, but I'm not going to lose sleep over any of these games. Not like it used to be with the NBA with me. And if they're starting games at 10 o'clock, then that's just telling me that they don't want me to watch. So, if you don't want me to watch, that's fine. But you got to start these games. I'm sorry, a playoff game, you got to start them by 9 o'clock Eastern at the latest. At the latest. And I don't hear, you got to worry about the West Coast. Those people leave work at 4. I used to live out there, which would be 6 o'clock local time.
Plenty of time.
That's plenty of time. And if you're going to a game, you're going to leave early anyways. It's just stupid to have that game, because tonight's game, the Celtics game, starts at 9. Why couldn't the Lakers game start at 9?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a little bit confusing. I should have had it consistent.
It's because Adam Silver is a dope and does not understand anything. All right, my walk-off for the day is probably not going to be watching much basketball today because I really don't give a crap about who wins the Hornets Indiana game, but I am going to be invested in, I'm pretty sure, I want to double check the time on it before I say the wrong thing. 8 o'clock Eastern, Tampa Bay and Florida, game 2. Panthers need a W. If you're going to watch any hockey series, Bobby, I highly encourage you to watch that one. It was like a playoff atmosphere there game 7 Stanley Cup final type of atmosphere there in game 1. And it's a geographic rivalry right there in the same state, so all the fans can travel and whatnot, and they were knocking the crap out of each other. I'm also going to keep an eye on the Islanders and Penguins. But all right, we'll see you next week. Great job, and hopefully you can teach Lamar Jackson how to throw a forward pass.
All right, you have a good one.
You too.
Bye, sweetheart, well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. We're here weekdays. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Gonna get another